Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you just can't keep your kitchen clean? I used to feel this way all the time. I would spend so much time cleaning my kitchen, and the next day I would be going about my daily life only to turn around and notice that my kitchen looked like it hadn't been cleaned in a month, which was so frustrating because I had just spent so much time on it. Cleaning your kitchen can be frustrating because it is an endless task. It's not something you can write on your to-do list and cross it off when you're done and not touch again. It's a task that keeps coming back meal after meal, day after day, month after month, and year after year. There's nothing that you can do to be completely done with cleaning your kitchen and never needing to touch it again, unless of course you eat out all the time or you stop eating altogether, neither of which I recommend. So what can we do to make cleaning our kitchen easier? One day I got fed up with the kitchen cleaning roller coaster that I was continually finding myself on, and I decided to figure out if there was a better way to clean my kitchen. I wanted to see if there was a way that I could take cleaning the kitchen from an exhausting, frustrating task that I dreaded every day to a simple routine that I could complete quickly and efficiently. And it turns out there was a much easier way to clean the kitchen than I had been doing. So in this video, I am going to show you my favorite minimalist kitchen cleaning tips and tricks for how to clean your kitchen fast. And just so I can show you the exact steps that I take for keeping my kitchen clean, I even left my kitchen a mess after lunch so I can show you exactly how I do it. If we haven't met before, I'm Kassy with MakingTimeForGiggles.com. I make videos all about making mom life simple, so go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the bell next to it if you would like to see more videos like this one. If you are excited to see all of the tips on how to clean your kitchen fast, go ahead and hit that like button so more people will be able to see this video. So I'm going to divide this list into two parts. The first part is things that you need to do to lay the groundwork for having a clean kitchen all the time. And the second part is things that you will do on a daily basis to maintain having a clean kitchen. All right, let's get started. The first thing that you need to do if you want to have a kitchen that is easy to clean is you need to declutter it. Having fewer items in your kitchen will make it much easier to have a place for everything and to put everything away when you are done using it. It will also prevent dishes from piling up so much around your sink. If you have 4 people in your family and 12 bowls, it's much more likely for people to just keep taking out a new bowl when they need it instead of rinsing the old bowls to use it again. Whereas if you have 8 or 4 bowls, people have to clean the dishes if they want to continue using them. So you just can't have as many dishes pile up because you have less dishes to use. I recommend cutting everything back to the basics. In my kitchen, the rule of thumb is if it gets used on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, and it fits in my cabinets, it stays. If it doesn't, it goes. That's because I really like having a nice, clean kitchen all the time, and cutting everything back to the basics makes it so much easier to accomplish this. I will put a link down below to my personal kitchen essentials that I like to use if you're interested, but really it can be very different from family to family depending on how you eat and how often you cook at home. So take into account your family's style of cooking, how often you eat at home, and how often you have guests over when you are decluttering your kitchen. If you want a step-by-step guide for how to start decluttering, check out this video right here to get started, and I will also link that in the description below. The second thing that you want to do to lay a foundation for a clean kitchen is having clear counters. I recommend having as little as possible out on your counters. In my kitchen, I only have a fruit basket and my tea kettle out on the counters. I also have kind of a half wall separating my kitchen from my living room, and on that I have a candle and a little decorative plaque. But other than that, my kitchen is clean when my counters are clean. Nothing else lives on my counters. And this makes it really easy to know when you're done cleaning the kitchen, which maybe for you isn't so much of a problem, but if you have a spouse that cleans the kitchen every once in a while, or when your kids clean the kitchen, it's much easier for everyone to be on the same page for what makes the kitchen clean if everything has to go inside a cabinet or a drawer before the kitchen is clean. Before I had this rule at our house, my husband would stop cleaning the kitchen much sooner in the process than I would have. But once I only put the bare minimum on the counters, it was much more clear to him when the kitchen was actually clean, and we were on the same page for what clean meant. If you're having a hard time fitting everything into your cabinets, I suggest taking all of those items that you thought maybe you should declutter, but maybe you should hang on to just in case, and putting them all into a box. Put a date on the box and put it in the garage. After 6 months, whatever you've taken out of the box that you've needed, keep. But if you haven't taken anything out of the box, or if there are still items left in the box, go ahead and donate that. Somebody else could probably use those items, and they aren't serving you any purpose, just stuffed in a drawer or in a cabinet or in a box in the garage. Having something doesn't actually make it useful. An item is only useful when you actually use it. The third thing that you want to do to have a clean kitchen all the time is you want to have a place for everything. Not only does this make it much easier to clean the kitchen yourself, but if you ever have company over and they want to help clean the kitchen, you can tell them exactly where things go. Or if you have company over that wants to cook, it's also much easier to tell them exactly where the items are that they need. It also makes it much easier for kids to know where things go. My 4-year-old and 18-month-old can unload the dishwasher together without any adult help because they know exactly where everything goes in our kitchen. The fourth thing you want to do to set a foundation for a clean kitchen is you want to clear your refrigerator. Having a cluttered refrigerator will make your whole kitchen look cluttered even if it's clean. Having a clear refrigerator makes your kitchen feel clean when you walk into it. So as you can see on my fridge, I have a clear whiteboard sticky thing that I put on here. I'm not even positive what it's called, but I will put a link in the description down below if you would like something like this on your fridge. But basically it's a dry erase board that's just transparent and right on the fridge. And this is our shopping list. So if either of us, my husband or I, am cooking during the week and we realize that we are out of something or low on something, we just write it straight on the list, and I am sure to check the list before I go to the grocery store. I also have this other whiteboard on here, and with this you can actually put it all over the front of the fridge. But I really liked having a separate dry erase board just because I can take it off if I need to use it for something different. I just liked having both options, so I went ahead and kept this instead of putting it all over the fridge. Those are the two things that are always on our refrigerator, and other than that, I do have, I don't know if you can see it on here, I do have a couple little pieces of art that Miss Claire has done, but it's not all over the fridge, and when she does something new, we don't just automatically put it up. What I recommend doing is having a limit per child of art that you will display on the fridge. So if you have 2 kids, maybe saying 1 to 2 pieces of artwork at a time on the fridge. And when they do something new that they want on the fridge, they can decide which one goes up or which one goes into their special box of keepsakes, for instance. But that just helps keep the fridge and the whole kitchen looking a little neater. Now, the way that my kitchen is set up, over on this side of my fridge, no one other than our immediate family really sees that unless they happen to be in our kitchen cooking or helping with something. So over here is where I will actually put all of our graduation announcements, wedding announcements, baby shower invitations, anything else that I want to keep track of, but I don't necessarily want it cluttering the front of my fridge. I will put it over here and have it kind of out of sight for when visitors come over or even when I walk into the room. I just like the look of it less cluttered. This is actually what's on the side of my fridge right now. Ross and I have been doing P90X3, and it's just something that doesn't look as nice and that not everyone needs to see when they come into our house, so we keep it over here along with a couple spare magnets. The only exception to this rule is at Christmas time. When the Christmas cards come, we put it all over the front of our fridge just like everyone else does. But once January comes, usually I will take those down because I just feel like my kitchen is cleaner when I have a clean fridge. The second thing with the refrigerator that is handy if you want to have a clean kitchen all the time is setting an expiration date for your food. Inside of the fridge can also get very cluttered with leftovers if you don't have a plan for it and you aren't actively eating them. So I try to have leftovers eaten within a week of the time that they were made. and I can keep track of that pretty easily because I have our menu plan on the calendar. And I will also put a link up here if you would like more information about how to meal plan. But having a meal plan also makes it easy to look back and see, oh, how old is this dish if you haven't been eating it and you aren't sure when it got put in the fridge. I will also put a link down below to a blog post about ways to incorporate your leftovers into your meal plan if you want to check out more information on that. All right, let's get started cleaning this kitchen because it is starting to drive me nuts. So the first thing you want to do when you're cleaning your kitchen is make sure that you are unloading the dishwasher as soon as it is clean. I really like to have it unloaded first thing in the morning. Typically, I will have Miss Claire unload it while I am making breakfast, or vice versa. She'll make breakfast while I unload. But it's really nice to have the dishwasher unloaded first thing, and then all you have to do is load the dishes into it throughout the rest of the day. Today it did not work quite so well because we forgot to run it last night. So we had to run it after breakfast, and now I need to unload the dishes real quick before we get started with the lunch dishes. The second thing that you need to do on a daily basis for keeping your kitchen clean is to remember not to do it later. And I broke this rule earlier when I left everything out because I wanted to show you guys step by step how I do this. But cleaning the kitchen is much faster when you do it immediately after you are done eating. I don't know about you guys, but my girls take forever to eat. And generally I am done eating much sooner than they are. So as they're finishing eating, I will go ahead and start the process of cleaning the kitchen. And generally we will clean the kitchen after breakfast before we do anything else altogether. And after lunch, we will get the kitchen clean again before the girls go down for nap time and quiet time. So I really recommend putting in your daily rhythm, just getting the kitchen clean after every single meal. And if you guys have any tips for getting kids to eat faster, please leave that in the comments below as well. Just remember, dirty dishes don't add together, they multiply. The third thing that you need to do on a daily basis if you want to have a clean kitchen is you want to clean as you cook. When you are done using something, put it away right away. This is such a habit for me now that I actually had to stop myself a couple times during lunch and after lunch because I just started to put things away naturally, and I had to remind myself, hey, you're doing a video, you need to leave things out, otherwise it's gonna look like you're not actually cleaning the kitchen. If I had put things away right away, I would have about half of the stuff on the counter that I do now. So remember to clean as you cook. This is another great way to get kids involved in the cleaning process. Let them be your little errand runners from the pantry and back, or from the fridge and back if they're old enough and tall enough. When I'm done cooking with something, I hand it to my girls and I tell them to go put it away, and they do that. And it takes a lot less time then when I need to clean because everything is already put away. Another tip with getting kids involved with this process is as you finish using a utensil or a measuring spoon or a bowl or anything else, let them go ahead and start rinsing it. Even pretty young kids will be able to help start rinsing and make it easier for you when it is time to do the cleaning yourself. The fourth thing that you're going to do on a daily basis to clean your kitchen fast is you're going to put the leftovers away as soon as you are done eating. Don't do any dishes, don't wipe anything down. Get all of those leftovers into a container and put them in the fridge. Before I started doing this, I would be happily doing the dishes and I would look over my shoulder and realize that I still had some leftover that I hadn't put away. So I would have to stop what I was doing with the dishes, go put the leftover away, and then bring over another dish that I didn't know that I had to clean. And it was just really frustrating whenever that would happen. When I started putting all the leftovers away first, this didn't happen anymore. And this also goes for any food items or anything that needs to go in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. The next thing that you want to do is clean your table. And that means taking all the dishes over to the sink and all of the placemats off the table, everything off the table, wipe it down and clean it up. Now, here's a little bonus tip for you. My table is already clean because we don't eat our lunch or our breakfast at the table. We eat it at the counter because that makes one less area for me to clean up after the meal. We don't eat dinner at the counter because there isn't enough room for all of us, but there's plenty of room for the girls and I to eat our breakfast and our lunch at the counter instead of at the table. So if you can combine where you are eating and where you are already making dinner, that will also save you time with cleaning. Another bonus tip for cleaning the table is to have your kids help with this process. Our kids really enjoy it when we give them a job, and clearing the table is usually something that they can do with minimal help. Now that all of that is done, we're going to work on the counters. And the big thing to remember with the counters is just like when you sweep, you move towards the garbage can. You want to do the same thing with your counters. So you want to start with the dishes that are farthest away from the sink as you bring everything over to the sink. Then once I'm done with the main counter, I will move over here to my other smaller counter. Your tea kettle technically could be something that you also put underneath the counters, but we use ours a lot and I really like the way it looks. It makes me happy when I see it, so I keep it out. And the next step is to do the dishes. When you clean your kitchen in this order, the bonus is that there won't be any dirty dishes lurking behind you. So now let's get the dishes done. Since I waited to do the dishes, they're already more difficult to do than if I had done them right away. Having to spend more time scrubbing each bowl than I normally would have. The biggest thing to remember if you want to have a kitchen that's clean all the time is to clean it right away. And the last thing that you want to do as you're cleaning your kitchen every day is sweep. You don't want to sweep earlier in the process because as you're wiping down the counters or carrying things to the sink, it's likely that you'll get crumbs on the floor. So save sweeping until the end if you need to do that. I don't sweep after every single meal, but sometimes I will just sweep right under where the girls eat to keep the floor a little cleaner. But usually I just vacuum my kitchen floor on the days that I vacuum my downstairs. And if you want to see my full simple weekly cleaning schedule, you can check out this video here and I will put a link down in the description as well. The last thing you need to do every day if you want to clean your kitchen quickly is you need to get everyone involved. Even the youngest members of your family can help clearing the table or bringing things over to the refrigerator or unloading the silverware out of the dishwasher. From the time my girls were about 18 months old, they took part in cleaning up after the meals in some way. When you start them young, they're much more likely to keep cleaning as they get older, and it becomes a lot less difficult to convince them to help out in other ways as well. Give everyone a job and you will be able to clean your kitchen fast. Once again, I'm Kassy with MakingTimeForGiggles.com. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it so more people can find it on YouTube. Also subscribe down below and hit that bell if you would like to see more videos like this one. I'll see you on the next one.